Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we're looking at the SOTA Street Fighter Round 1 M Bison. I have all three versions of him here. We're going to use the player one for the majority of the review, and then I'll just talk about these two separately. But there you can see we have the player one, the alternate color version, then the Psycho 2-pack version, which is the translucent purple and silver. So we'll get to those guys in a moment. The player one the player one and the regular variant both come with the same set of accessories, minus paint obviously. That includes the translucent plastic Psycho Punch, whatever that movie's called, I don't know. Accessory, whatever that is, the energy blast effect, which is pretty cool. It snaps onto his fist. Doesn't really snap on so much as it just kind of fits over, but it does. Which hand is it? I don't know. There we go. So his is one of the better ones. It does stay on actually. Some of the other ones are pretty bad about that. But that's that. He's got two fist hands obviously. Two fist hands, which are done really well. And two open hands. Again, done really well. You have fingernails and everything on there. So great detail. And then you get the two alternate heads. And if you want to count it as an accessory, you have the cape, which does unpeg from his shoulders, so you can take that off if you want. I know in the video the cape looks really transparent, or translucent, or see-through, sheer, if you will, but it's actually not. In person, you don't really see through it too much. It's just the harsh lighting. And this is probably the best application of a soft goods cape on an action figure, especially in a 6-inch scale, that I've seen. So don't let the video fool you. It looks really nice. So like I said, both guys have the same set of accessories. Just the hat's a different color to match the outfit, obviously. But we're going to use this guy to talk about everything else. Paint and sculpt on this figure. The paint is great. There's lots of shading throughout all of the red. Hopefully you can see that. I don't think the harsh light is hiding it, but there is lots of nice shading throughout, airbrush shading. As I said, the fingers are painted really well. You have different paint for the fingernails. Sculpt is just phenomenal everywhere. You have all the little wrinkles and stretch marks in the outfit. The head looks just about perfect for Bison. There's the grin with the sculpted Shadaloo logo on there. And there's the unhappy face, which still looks mean and looks just like Bison. So they did a really good job. This is based on the Alpha series, that's why he's so bulky. Some people don't like that. Personally, I do. I like the traditional Bison as well, but this guy just really turns into a nice figure, so I'm happy to have it. You have the stitching in the pants, just overall really top notch. His little shirt bottom part is soft. I know in the video it looks like it's a different color, but it's really not noticeable in person. It's just the different materials holding the light differently, so don't worry about that too much. He's got the boots with the painted and sculpted armor on the knees, and then this part is hinged to keep it out of the way for the articulation. The boots are glossy, so overall it's just really, really great looking. Really no complaints. Look at the musculature on that guy. They did a great job with these figures, they really did. Articulation wise, the head is on a double ball peg. You're not going to get a huge range of motion out of it due to the bulk, but it is posable. Pretty good range of motion. Definitely enough, I think. Ball disc shoulders, again, somewhat limited due to the size of the arms and the chest and the shoulder pads, but they are there, so full range of motion technically. Bicep swivel, single jointed elbow, nearly 90 degrees, so it's not too bad, but it flows nicely. The way they do their joints doesn't really kill the sculpt too much. Since the hands are interchangeable, you have the ball peg, or peg, whatever you want to call it, peg swivel right there, plus the pivot for the palm. His ab crunch, his gets frozen pretty easily, but it is there, it's ratcheted, so it's pretty good. This seam, or what is that called? I don't know, whatever. That black thing goes all the way up into the joint, so it's not going to kill the sculpt to bend him back all the way. Pretty good range of motion forward and back, especially for a big guy. They did a good job with that. Waist twist is in there. The bottom part stays with the crotch, so that kind of ruins the continuity, but it's not horrible. I mean, what are you going to do? These are soft, so they don't impede the hips too much, but they do a little bit, and he's pretty thick, so you're going to have a little bit of limitation on the hips, but they are the full ball disc T-jointed hips, so side to side, forward and back, thigh swivel, double jointed knee, full range of motion out of the knee. You'll get a little more than 90 degrees. Actually, you can go even farther than that. Pretty good range. Of course, if you want the boot to stay connected, you're not going to get as much, which is okay because he doesn't need to have all these crazy poses. And you do have the option though. So he's got the ankle pivot, and he's got a cut joint in the foot to give him the ankle rocker, and a toe joint. Unfortunately, a lot of the SOTA guys with the bigger feet have that really ugly, here we'll use this foot, have that pretty ugly cut for the toe joint. But it is usable, and it's okay. And like I said, this is pivoted as well, or hinged. So you're pretty good off. I'm not going to complain about it. So here's Bison, one of the better figures from the line, I think, even though he does have his flaws being so bulky and whatnot, but it's still a really competent figure, if you want to put it that way. And then of course the variant is super nice looking with the contrast in the gray and the blue and the red. Does have some smudges here and there, which is pretty common for these guys, but he still looks really good, and the shading's all over the place. So looks great, especially side by side. And then finally we have the 2-pack Psycho Bison, which comes with the clear stand for his fire stuff. So we'll take that out. He's got this big piece of clear fire, clear purple, blue fire, which is really well done. Really nice. That's really all you can say about it, other than it's relatively stiff. Could be a little softer, I think, especially on the front part, so you don't scratch the figure. But what are you going to do? It's still alright. And the shading's really cool. And then Bison himself, he's this really nice purplish blue. The lighting, of course, is going to make him look more blue than purple, but I can't really do anything about that. He's solid, translucent plastic, except for the painted silver and the painted face. So it looks really cool on display. The silver and the purple goes nice against itself. And the silver parts are actually, they can't be molded in silver. I think it's just sprayed silver over the translucent plastic. But as you can see, light does pass through them, at least a little bit. So it's probably maybe just clear plastic with silver on it. Maybe it's got the blue, purple. I don't know, it's hard to say for sure. But either way, it's all translucent. It's all the same exact sculpt as the other ones. Only you don't get the alternate head, you don't get the open hands. You only get the grinning face and the fists. But still, he looks great, and you get that other cool pieces. And then you can see that the eyes are painted red with the teeth painted, and then the Shadaloo skull on the hat. So he's really cool figure, especially as far as translucent figures go. The purple and blue is just aces. I like it. So let's get a quick look at all three of them, which makes for a very menacing display. But there it is. There's the SOTA Street Fighter Round 1 and the exclusive 2-pack M. Bison. Great set of figures overall. Just wanted to point out that Bison's height in his stand for the Psycho Bison is about 10.5 inches tall. That's with the fire and the clear base. And then Bison himself stands, and this is the same mold as the standard 2 versions, he stands at 7 inches tall. So that's the height. Pretty good scale, I think, for Bison compared to the other figures. Guys, stay tuned for the rest of the figure reviews and some more custom figures and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.